Fuck you too!
Somewhere, in the middle of nowhere, Paul Sheldon, America's best-selling author, just met Annie Wilkes, his #1 fan. Paul Sheldon used to write for a living. Now, he's writing to stay alive.
Hey everybody, welcome to Psychoanalysis. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and mental health therapist with a passion for horror and sci-fi. And in this episode, I'm going to be breaking down the psychopathology of Paul Sheldon's #1 fan, Annie Wilkes. For this video, I'll be using Stephen King's novel as my primary source of information, as it contains added character detail and symptoms that were not present in the film and have a direct effect on Annie's diagnosis. Spoiler warning for anyone who has not seen the movie or read the book. Proceed at your own peril. This video is based on a psychological analysis of a fictional character and is simply my opinion based on my professional knowledge and the character's description in various media sources. Any resemblance to the character or to anyone currently living or deceased is strictly coincidence, and in no way has anyone's confidentiality been breached. This video is for entertainment purposes only. However, mental health is an important subject and should not be minimized or stigmatized. Unfortunately, mental health is often poorly represented in media and further stigmatizes mental health conditions. Even though I will often be analyzing dangerous individuals, in truth, those with mental health conditions are more likely to be victims of violence rather than perpetrators. If you or a loved one is struggling with mental health disorders, please contact a local mental health professional or call SAMHSA's national hotline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357. SAMHSA's national helpline is a free, confidential, 24/7 treatment referral and information service in English and in Spanish for individuals and families facing mental and or substance use disorders. And with the obligatory public service statement out of the way, let's get into it. Misery is a Stephen King novel published in 1987 and adapted for the big screen in 1990. It was directed by Rob Reiner and stars James Sonny Corleone Caan.
What do you think this is, the army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get up close like this, bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
As Paul Sheldon, a romance novelist who ends up in a car accident during a snowstorm in the Rocky Mountains and is rescued by his #1 fan, Annie Wilkes, played magnificently by Kathy Bates. Paul soon realizes that Annie is not his savior, but his jailer, who suffers from a variety of mental illnesses and has a penchant for murder. Paul is now being forced to resurrect Misery Chastain, his most popular character, for a new novel. The good news is he has all the time in the world.
He has all the time in the world.
The bad news is Annie has some very persuasive methods to get exactly what she wants. So who is Annie, aside from what Bruce Banner would so eloquently term as someone whose
brain is a bag full of cats?
Annie Wilkes is a heavy-set Caucasian woman.
Was she a great big fat person?
In her mid-40s at the time of the story. Born in 1943 in Bakersfield, California, she lives alone in rural central Colorado on a farm where she raises livestock. She is divorced and currently single and very isolated, with no close family, friends, or close acquaintances. Her house is well organized, clean, and detail-oriented. She dresses in a conservative fashion and always wears a cross necklace around her neck. She is very religious and mentions God often during her conversations. She speaks English and does not use foul language and is very offended by the use of such language.
Everybody talks like that.
They do not. What do you think I say when I go to the feed store in town? Oh, now, Wally, give me a bag of that effing pig feed and 10 pounds of that bitchly cow corn. And in the bank, do I tell Mrs. Bollinger, oh, here's one big bastard of a check. Give me some of your Christing money?
Her hobbies and activities include caring for her livestock, watching TV reruns, and reading romance novels, especially novels written by Paul Sheldon. She associates closely with the heroine of the novels, Misery Chastain. Presenting problem. Annie suffers from delusions. These include her insistence that she is speaking to God and that he is directing her, paranoid delusions that everyone is out to get her, and erotomania, which is a condition where someone is fixated on the idea that another person is intensely in love with them. This is shown by her belief that she and Paul are meant to be together, even in death.
Now don't be afraid. I love you.
Annie also suffers from periods of catatonia, where she will blank out or stop speaking and hold strange body postures for lengthy stretches of time. Annie has pronounced mood swings. These present themselves as periods of elation and grandeur, irritability, racing thoughts, and lack of concentration, followed by periods of low mood and depression accompanied by self-harm, binge eating, and suicidal ideation. Annie has an exaggerated sense of self-importance. She has a strong sense of entitlement and requires regular affirmation.
It's two of the letters of my favorite nurse's name, Annie.
You fooler. Did I do good?
You did great.
She expects to be recognized as a superior and exaggerates her achievements and talents. She believes she is superior and feels that there are 3 types of people in the world. Brats.
I thought you were good, Paul. But you're not good. You're just another lying old dirty birdie. And I don't think I better be around you for a while.
Poor things which need to be put out of their misery, and Annie. Annie expects unquestioning compliance with her expectations and takes advantage of others to get what she wants.
Can't you see it's what God wants? You're so brilliant, I would think you'd certainly be able to see that. We're put on this earth to help people, Paul. Like I'm trying to help you. Please, help me help you.
She has an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others, and becomes impatient or angry when she doesn't get the treatment she expects.
She can't be dead. Misery Chastain cannot be dead.
Annie, in 1871, women often died in childbirth. But her spirit is the important thing, and Misery's spirit is still alive.
I don't want her dead! I want her! And you murdered her!
And has difficulty regulating emotions and behavior. Annie shows a disregard for rules and laws, using lies and deceit to exploit others. She is often callous, cynical, and disrespectful of others, while using charm and wit to manipulate people for her personal gain. Annie has reoccurring problems with the law, including criminal behavior, repeatedly violating the rights of others through intimidation and dishonesty, as well as violence. Annie is impulsive, hostile, and aggressive while showing lack of empathy for others and a lack of remorse about harming others. Annie takes high risks and shows dangerous behavior with no regard for the safety of herself or others. She has a history of poor or abusive relationships and fails to consider the consequences of her behavior or learn from it. History. Annie Wilkes is the daughter of Carl and Griselda Wilkes of Bakersfield, California. Annie had a brother, Paul Emery Wilkes, who she used to go to the movies with as a child. Much of Annie's history comes from a scrapbook entitled Memory Lane, where she seems to have collected news clippings as a type of trophy related to the people that she has murdered. Annie, it seems, may have killed 5 people in 1954 when she was 11 years old. In the apartment building where the Wilkes family had lived, a blaze was set in the basement that caused the deaths of Adrian Kremnitz and his 3 children, along with Irving Fallman, a 58-year-old tenant. No charges were brought, and the fire was thought to have been an accident. However, Annie mentions to Paul how much she hated those brats, and it seems clear that she was responsible for the fire. This was the first accidental death to occur around Annie Wilkes. When she was 14, Annie's father apparently died from a freak accident. It is widely believed that Annie was responsible for his death. Annie then attended college at USC for nursing, and while there, another freak accident occurred to Annie's roommate, who seems to have died in similar circumstances to her father. Following this, Annie began working at St. Joseph's Hospital, where 5 people died under Annie's care. This was followed by several other deaths at Riverview Hospital in Pennsylvania. Through her life, Annie followed a pattern: get a job, kill some people, and move on. From Harrisburg to Pittsburgh to Fargo and finally to Denver. She took the post of a nurse at Denver Receiving Hospital. But here the pattern changes as Annie married Ralph Dugan and the murder stopped for a while. Ralph Dugan would file for divorce from Annie Wilkes, citing mental cruelty. And after this, Annie took a job at Boulder Hospital and things got bad again. Annie took the job as head maternity nurse and began to commit infanticide. Articles from that time reveal that 8 infants were killed, and Annie Wilkes was questioned as a suspect but was not charged. She then went back to work and killed 3 more infants. This time she was charged, and she was named the Dragon Lady in the press. She was found not guilty, however, due to lack of evidence. After this, Annie left the medical field and went to live on her farm, only killing once more that we know of, a random hitchhiker found dismembered in the woods. But then she found Paul Sheldon. Diagnosis. Annie Wilkes meets the criteria for a schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type with catatonia. Annie has periods of hypomanic behavior followed by periods of deep depression. She also has signs of a psychotic illness that presents with both delusions as well as grossly disorganized behavior and catatonia. Annie suffers from shifting moods with periods of high or elevated mood as shown by her jumping around and snorting like a pig, accompanied by delusions of grandeur. This is countered with deep depression, seen only once in the movie but pointed out more often in the book, where she has self-harming and binge-eating behaviors along with suicidal ideation. Annie Wilkes also suffers from several personality disorders, including narcissistic personality disorder. Annie has a pervasive pattern of grandiosity and an inflated sense of self-importance, such as when she tells Paul, "You owe me your life," while keeping him a prisoner. She believes she is special and unique and has a direct line to God. She requires admiration and praise, which Paul learns early on to help him survive. She takes advantage of others for her own personal gain, for example, kidnapping a writer and making him write a novel just for her. She lacks empathy, as expressed in court transcripts when she says that "I'm never ashamed and I never look back on my actions." She is envious of others and shows arrogance, often talking about how other people are dirty birds. Annie also has all the symptoms for an antisocial personality disorder. She is an adult and has shown a pervasive pattern of disregard for the rights of others occurring since the age of 15. And there is evidence of a conduct disorder before the age of 15. Annie fails to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behaviors, as indicated by repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. She has shown deceitfulness, as indicated by repeated lying and use of aliases, or conning of others for personal profit or pleasure. She shows impulsivity or failure to plan ahead, such as returning to work after being questioned for murders and committing more murders, or kidnapping a famous writer. She shows irritability, aggression, and violence. And she has obvious reckless disregard for the safety of herself and others. She shows no remorse and blames her own violent behavior on others. Annie uses a number of defense mechanisms. She uses denial, as she continues to believe that Paul will eventually like being with her, even though it is obvious he despises her. She uses projection. Annie has killed many people in her life. However, when Misery dies in the novel, she accuses Paul of being a murderer.
You dirty bird. How could you?
She uses rationalization. Annie rationalizes her actions and behaviors by saying that God told her to do what she is doing, and that it is her duty.
Paul, it's all okay. Last night it came so clear. I realize you just need more time. Eventually, you'll come to accept the idea of being here.
Or that people she killed deserved it, or they were poor, poor things. She uses reaction formation. Annie has become very religious. She says people should help other people and wants to rid the world of filth, even though she has killed and hurt people all her life. She has chosen the nursing profession where she has to care for others despite the fact that she hurts and kills them. So what's the treatment? In the movie and the book, Annie has her skull split open, which does in fact cure her of all her earthly woes. That being said, the best therapeutic approach for Annie would be a cognitive behavioral approach to help her manage her anger and control her impulses. Since Annie is intellectually capable, a psychodynamic therapy approach can also be useful in understanding why she engages in hurting people and helping her face reality by giving up her maladaptive defense mechanisms. However, her prognosis is poor. Due to the severity of her symptoms, the only hope would be to hospitalize or incarcerate her and attempt to keep her from being a danger to herself and others. Treatment should be mostly focused on stabilization. Misery is a fantastic novel and one of Stephen King's best movie adaptations. It takes the whole idea of an overly exuberant fan and adds that Stephen King twist. The character of Annie Wilkes is terrifying and captivating at the same time. If you haven't read the book or seen the movie, then go check it out. And thanks for watching my video. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And be sure to let me know down in the comments who you would like me to diagnose in the future. Thanks a lot.